The first question we have is the following. What would you recommend for a professional who is traveling often and passing through different places and looking to make appointments with recruiters and organizations while doing so? I'm not chasing up any specific job opportunity, but just looking to get acquainted with different players in the sector and expand my network.
Great. Thank you, Julie, and thank you for everyone who joined today for our September Ask Devex. So this is a great question. One actually we talked a little bit about in a couple of the webinars we did earlier this summer on particularly working as a consultant, where this is really recommended practice for building your network and expanding your potential work opportunities, but it's a great practice for anyone, whether or not you're looking for consulting, full-time job opportunities, or really just looking to expand your network for the future. So I think the fact that you aren't chasing up any specific job opportunity is great. That's actually the right time to be looking to make these connections and expand your network, because people are usually more open and willing to talk to you if they don't feel like you're going to be hounding them for a job that they may not have at that moment. So definitely take advantage of the time when you're traveling to try to make these connections. You can definitely reach out to recruiters, and again, I'd make it clear that you aren't necessarily looking for any specific job opportunity. You just kind of want to learn more about the work that they do and the kinds of professionals they seek, to see if there could be something in the future, or for you to just have more understanding, more of a kind of an informational interview. Some recruiters are quite happy to do this and really actively and proactively look to make these kind of connections to build their pipeline, as they would call it, of potential candidates that might tap into for the future. Some, however, may just be really overwhelmed and swamped with specific vacancies they're looking to fill right now and may not have the time or inclination to meet. So definitely reach out to recruiters, let them know that you are not specifically looking for a job today, but you just want to kind of build that relationship with them. But if you don't hear back from them, don't necessarily see it as a negative. It's usually just a matter of their availability. So in addition to reaching out to recruiters, I would also really encourage you to reach out to the different department heads or people who are working in the different departments and programs that you might be interested in learning more about. They will sometimes be more open and willing to speaking to people if they aren't actively looking on filling specific jobs and positions. You also can play to their vanity a little bit if you want to learn more about their career and career path. People often like the opportunity to kind of talk about that and connect with other people, serve as more maybe of a mentor. So playing into that can be really helpful. We'll post a link to one of the previous consulting webinars we did, where our speaker had a lot of really great advice on how she does this effectively, particularly when she's traveling. The other thing is, when you are traveling, it creates a little bit more sense of urgency. So it is a really good time to do that. So if you only have a few days or a few time slots, it kind of forces the person to say, okay, yeah, I'll make the time for this today. It can be a little bit more challenging when you're in the same location and there isn't such that sense of urgency to say, okay, it's now or never because they're in town. So it is a good opportunity to take advantage of that, letting people know that you will be in town for a limited time and available to meet. And then making sure you kind of stay in touch with those people afterwards too. It's not just a one and done, but using that as a starting point to cultivate that relationship and making it two-way too. So you're not just there to get information out of them, but you're also sharing information back, making it more of a reciprocal exchange. We did do a webinar earlier this year on networking with a career coach who had a lot of great advice on that as well. So if you didn't participate in that webinar, I encourage you taking a look at the past recording. There's a lot of good tips on how to effectively build your network, particularly when you aren't necessarily looking for a job. All right, I will stop there. We can go to the next question. Yeah.
Thank you. Moving on to our next question. How can you assess if you're overqualified for a job or be deemed overqualified by the recruiting or hiring manager? Would this label pertain more to education or experience?
Yeah, that's a good question.